Hello and welcome to this demonstration of the Toastmasters theme that I've designed. This is version 1.2.1 for those that wish to keep track. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to run two versions of the site at the same time. And yes, my screen is above the camera, and therefore I'll be looking above you to see that screen. So this is incognito window, so this will not realize that I'm logged in. And then we have the other version which is logged in. So what I'm going to do is going to go and show you that in the themes we have WP Toastmasters, which has been derived, for those that are interested, from something called WP Rig, although it's getting more and more removed from that. And you can see it's 1.1.2. That's the version number. There is also a WordPress plugin running as well, which is doing all the thinking stuff. And that again is 1.1.2. So I'm trying to keep the revision numbers of the plugin and the theme in sync to make life easier. And so let's have a look at what the plugin does. First of all, we have a features section, which is where you will be able to turn on and off major features of the plugin. So for the moment, I'm not using any meetings. And I have two options for meetings. I can use WordPress event meetings, or I can use an external link. I'll show the external link first, because it's the simpler way of doing things. So I've saved that now and nothing really here will happen. But if we go to Appearance and Widgets, we can have a look at what's down the sidebar. And down the sidebar I have something I prepared earlier. I get rid of that so you have where it came from. I have Toastmasters information and Toastmasters link to meeting. So the old traditional way, I had to put this information by hand for what the Speakers Club is. Let me flip over to the other version, and you can see, if I refresh it, you can see down the right hand side here we've got a title and the Speakers Club numbers. Well, what we can do now is we can now remove that, and we have Toastmasters information, which we can put up there, or we can do it like that, sidebar, add widget, and we can move it to the top. And this will display that information, except it will need to be programmed in. So this is the information it displays, and we can do two things. Firstly, we can go over to the settings and have a look at Toastmasters settings. And in Toastmasters settings there are a whole load of tabs here. And the first one is the club settings. So I can change the heading of the club. How about Club Loud and Proud? You put your area number in, your division, your district, and everything in there. And then that is automatically coming into this here. There we are, you can see it's changed. You don't have to have the sidebar. The whole idea of this plugin and theme is to give you the standards that Toastmasters wants us to have, so we have some common looks and themes around the site, but also to give you the flexibility to add what you want. So that is one widget which allows you to tell who you are. And let's have a look at what else we can do. So the first thing is this top bar here. Now I happen to have a brand guidelines thing here. The official brand guidelines, and you can see that in the brand guidelines things there are things about colors, headings, the logo, the way things are laid out, typefaces, etc., etc. Now we are following these as much as we can. I say as much as we can because some of the things, standards which we're given, it's actually very difficult to emulate directly in a website. But one of the first things we can do is we can change this top bar. So if we flip over to the other version of the site and we go to the next section on layout, you'll see that we can change the background color to any of the colors that are available from WordPress. And we can also change the page color. Now, you've got to be very careful to change the page color. I'll show you why. If I change the page color to gray, and then I flip over to the site and refresh it, you'll find that this area here becomes the color. So you are probably not going to want to change that very often. Although the grey works, that's why I chose it, because it sort of works. The other colours are going to look quite nasty. So I'm going to change that back to white. But I can change the background colour to the whole section. So I could have the dark blue. Save changes. And refresh, that should go white, and the rest of it goes dark blue. So you have the ability to change that colour. You also have a chance to change the top bar, so we can have the blue and yellow top bar. Which looks like that, and that goes quite well. Or we could have the maroon and blue, which looks like that. And we've seen the maroon and grey already. So the maroon and blue works quite well. And we could, no, I don't want to change that one. You can also do that. Okay, and that looks quite good. But it's up to you what style you wish for your site. But all of the sites have the logo. And let's just show you what happens when we change the size of the screen, because obviously people are going to view these on different devices. What happens is the logo will gradually shrink and the text sort of keeps up and then jumps over to make some more room for itself and then gradually shrinks with everything. And you'll notice the menu tries to keep in the middle, and the sidebar, once we get to sort of iPad size, disappears underneath the content. And eventually we get so small that the menu becomes a menu button. The menu is up to you. These are the suggested pages that I've created for my demonstration, but we can argue about how the menu should be, and frankly you can have any menu you like, but I expect there will tend to be certain things which we will all want to have. It's traditional to have a home button to get to the home page. I'm finding personally that putting a menu item telling when your next meeting is quite useful. Oops, sorry. News will be your blog newses, and then I tend to stuff everything else, so to speak, into the about page. And I'm finding again that these are the subjects, apart from the about this demo, which is obviously just on the demo copy. These seem to be the right things to have, and again a separate contact us button. But there's no reason why you couldn't put a menu button down the side if you wanted to in this sidebar. It's totally up to you. The other main feature of the website, which I must draw your attention to, because again it's within the standards of Toastmasters. Let's get out of the news so we get shorter page. Is this information on the website paragraph that is a requirement of Toastmasters, and so the system automatically puts that at the bottom, followed by a powered by WordPress and a Toastmasters theme. It's also been suggested, and probably in the next release you'll have the ability to put your club district information across there. Now, I said in the setup options, in the features that I had managed via external meeting link. Now the way that can be shown on the site is if we go into the appearance and the widgets, there's a special widget created for meeting links. There it is, Toastmasters link to meeting. So I can add that to my widget. And I have three things to put. Next meeting is a title, which you can change. The link URL goes to a page. Now, for instance, I'm logged in as in our group here. So this is our next meeting. But actually, there's a better place. That's to choose the Speakers Club. So you see the URL up here is the Meetup Speakers Club. If I copy that link and I make that the URL and I'll have the link as book in here, hit save, and then I'll flip over to the other version. I'll refresh and you'll see I've got next meeting and book here. When I click book here, it goes to that page for the next meeting of Epsom Speakers. And there it is, an upcoming event. So what I'm saying is that in this way you can link to another system, which could be Meetup, it could be Eventbrite, it could be your EasySpeak page, but try and make it the generic page, not the specific meeting page, otherwise you're going to have to keep changing it. We will be working on better integration with Meetup, Eventbrite and EasySpeak in future versions. The other way, when I find enough, let's pull that out of the way. So the other way to put our meetings in is to use the built-in meeting feature of the plugin. And what we do for that is we go back to settings and features. And instead of having meeting link, we use WordPress events and save that. And as soon as we save that, you'll notice there's a new item appeared called events. And hopefully there'll be some here already. Yep, because I already created them. And here are our next club events. And you will notice if I go to edit, that they're a little bit different to a normal post. We have a heading, we have content, and then underneath we have a Toastmaster box, so you can put the name of your Toastmaster. And we also have a location tab. If I'm saying the default location, I'll show you what the default location is in a second. On the right hand side, I have the date of when the when the event is and the time, which is wrong, isn't it? So that should be 7:30. And you'll see it's down as a standard club meeting. So I'll update that. And we'll preview the changes. And it will not work because that's something I do, because I'm playing around with this all the time. I need to just try and get the permalinks to redo. So let's just try and kick the permalinks. And that should bring us back. So if I go to our other version, no. First I want to change the widgets. So down the right hand side now, I want to remove the Toastmasters sidebar and put my own one in there. Now because I've switched over, the other sidebar is not valid anymore, and so it's disappeared. And instead we have Toastmasters next meetings. So I can add that to the sidebar now, and I'll drag that to the second one. And the features of this sidebar are a title, so I can put next meetings. I will show the next 3 meetings, and I just want to see club meetings and save them. Now if I go back and pull back our demonstration and refresh it, you'll see I now have this nice big box with the next 3 meetings, because that's what I asked for. And if I click on the meetings, then I'm taken to the meetings page. So the meetings page has the title as normal. It has the date and time, which I thought I was changing, but I didn't change that one. The date and time, which has come from the extra boxes, which are up here on the right hand side. Let me show you them at the same time. So let's go events, all events. Which event are we changing? Go on, John, pay attention. Monday, 18th of November. So if I go to 18th of November, edit, I can change the time. 7:30 p.m. update. I've got an event image here, so I'm not sure if I've got any more or have. No, I haven't got any more. So that's my featured image. So that's the one that displays. Who's my Toastmaster? It's James Last. Update that. And because I have the location as our default location, which is what I'd expect you to be most of the time, update that. You will notice that there is on the right hand side the address of our default location and a Google map of our default location. And that is because the next thing that we can edit in the settings is the venue. And so for the venue, we put the name of the venue, the address of the venue, and then you get this iframe thing from Google Maps. Now you should have a Google map for your location of your Toastmasters location. I see, and if you haven't, then that's something you need to pull up, and we'll show you how to do that on a separate video. And then what I've done is I want to share that information. I go to embed map. This is the map that I'm going to embed. Here's the code I'm going to embed. So I hit copy HTML. I go back into my events, and that's what's pasted in there. So I can drag this so you can see it. That information is dragged in there. You can see it's the same information. And then you've got a little comment at the bottom as well you can have. I save that, and that is the information which is appearing on there, on the right hand side. So we can see when our next meeting is in our next meeting page as well. Our next meeting page has next meeting. It's pulled the date up of when the next meeting is. It's pulled the host name. It's got learn more, and that will take you to that meeting page, which we were just on. And when we are on normal pages, as in other pages, you can see we've got this right sidebar with the next 3 meetings and then your news underneath. But again, these 3 items here are here because I've asked them to be here. They're in this order because I've asked them to be in this order. It's giving me the next 3 meetings because I've asked for the next 3 meetings. Don't have to. This again is up to you to change as you wish. There is only one look. If we go to the meeting, there is only one particular layout for this at the moment, but I'm going to give you 3 or 4 different variations that you can choose. So it will be up to you which one you have. Because although I'm trying to be prescriptive on the things that are insisted upon for us to have a common look between all the sites, I'm trying not to be prescriptive on the other information. Now, I know what you're thinking. People have said it to me already. They said, John, you've just given me another place when I have to put more events. So I have to put the events into EasySpeak, I have to put them into my website, I have to put them into Meetup, I have to put them into Eventbrite, etc., etc. Well, I hear you, and we are working on ways to integrate the meetings between the different things, but this is actually quite a tricky thing to do, and I'm taking my time to make sure I do it in the most effective way. However, I have made it easier for you, because when you go to edit a meeting, so if I edit my 18th of November meeting, I can change the content. So I can, if I want, to have different content for every meeting. And if you do that, great for you. Well done for you, because really you want to try and do that. But what you can do is you can hit the word duplicate here, and it will create a duplicate event for me based on the contents of the 18th of November or whichever one I'm going to choose. So if I duplicate that one, it gives me a new event with the same content copied across, but I can now change this content and I can change the date. So I think it's the 16th of December is the next one. And I publish. All right, so that's as quickly as I can create an event. That's it, it's done. All I need to do is go into one I created already, hit duplicate, make any changes I want, and then hit update, and it's done. So the last thing I'm just going to mention on this version is the different type of events. Now this is in really for future-proofing the new things that are coming in. But if you want to put a club social in, you can put it as a separate item. We will be finding a way to feed in training and competition data from district. So that's information that might be area events, district events or whatever, which your club would like to display. And you might have noticed that when we're in the widgets section and you've got display meetings, you can display different types of meetings. So you can do non-club events, all club events. So that would include your own events of your club, the first three that were shown, just the club meetings, other club events, club officer training, so you can have a separate box for that if you want, non-club events. So maybe you want a club officer training further down so that it's not directly in the meeting section, and you can have multiple ones of these in different places to show that information. And that's where we are so far. You will also notice from plugin section that this plugin can actually update itself as well. It should say there's no updates available at the moment. It says this plugin is up to date. Yes, good. That works. So this Toastmasters plugin will be able to be updated automatically. But for those people that wish to use it straight away, I have offered to host your sites to make life easier for you and for me until the new Toastmasters year. As long as we get no more than, I think when we get over 35 people wanting to use it straight away, I have to go to my hosting account and upgrade it. But we can get 35 people on quite easily without upgrading the hosting account. And if we need more than that, then we'll just get a new upgraded hosting account sorted out. So that is very simple terms, the content of the plugin and the theme as it is now. The other things that are available are not available, shall we say. The other things that have been worked on are not available yet, so I'm not going to put them in this video. But what we can do for those people that perhaps are starting from scratch or wish to start again is this content which we have here in this example one has come from Epson speakers, although it's being changed now and it's starting to diverge from Epson speakers content. But this content we have here, we could pull into your site for you. So your WordPress site could start with this content, or we could add these pages and then you could choose to use the ones that you want. But we'll work with each person on that as we need to, because this basic setting up of it really only going to have to do once, and then once you're going, it's going to be much easier for you to pass your site on when your tenure finishes and you want to pass on the next person. So we have all the basic WordPress features that you expect to do posts and pages and edit your pages. We have this special thing for events so that you can put your meetings in. And this is version 1.1.2, and I expect there's a whole load of features we're working on, but I won't talk about them now because you can't use them yet. So I'm going to finish this video now, and if you want answers to other questions, you'll find there'll be a whole section of videos out there. One final thing, if you do need help, then there will be videos built into the system. There's a help section there, and we will add specific videos into here and links to videos. Connections, we don't have any connections yet. Schedule, if you could fill this in, it would help, but it doesn't do anything at this moment in time. But it would help if you filled this in. In other words, your schedule is the default time in meeting and when your meetings are. This will help because we are working towards automating this for you so that you don't have to keep putting in events. My goal, which isn't totally practical unfortunately, but my goal would be that events would only be put in one place once and everywhere else would get automatically updated. This may not be possible for things out of my control, but we'll get as close to that as we can. So thank you very much for spending this time, and if you have any questions, probably best if you're watching this on the YouTube channel to just fire them into the comments section below. Otherwise, thank you very much for watching. And don't forget that we have our VPPR marketing webinars on the Zoom, District Zoom account. So you want to go on there and check where the dates are, and you can join us for those as well. Thank you very much.